Hey, we're going to go ahead and get started here. I'm going to start off by sharing my screen and we'll jump into the presentation. I'll leave some time at the very end to ask questions. So let me go ahead and share this. Click this, and we are good to go. All right. So today we're going to talk about how to automate your law firm's lead flow with AI. And when I say lead flow, I'm talking about all the way from generating new leads to getting them to book appointments, and even beyond that. So some of the things we're going to cover are some of the common challenges that law firms face with the generating leads and processing them, what typical lead flow approach looks like with most law firms and why it's not all that effective. We're also going to look at AI-enabled systems and how they are or why I should say, they're the key to efficiently scaling your practice. And then we're going to take a look at our lead flow system, the E360 Lead Flow System, and show you how that works. And that's going to include a quick demo of the AI booking assistant too. This will be a live demo, so keep your fingers crossed. So who am I? My name's Kurt Lohman. I started Engage Digital Marketing back in July of 2015. So we've been going for about 9.5 years now. We started off as a social media marketing agency and quickly morphed into a full-blown or full stack marketing agency offering local SEO as our primary service, content marketing, web design, market automation tools, paid advertising. And more recently, we've focused on building systems for businesses that include market automation tools with a CRM and AI integration. And the whole purpose is really to build efficient systems that take the workload off of the firm and allow our clients to focus more on their clients as opposed to having to do marketing and sales. I'm a four-time business owner. I've worked in different industries throughout my career. I also have 25 plus years of sales and marketing experience in different industries. I've done everything from selling software to selling wine. I had my own wine business for a while. I also have over 4.5 years now working directly with attorneys, estate planning, elder law, family law, and even some construction law and business law attorneys. So let's jump into the first topic here. So why do law firms struggle with lead flow? And the main reason, the main problem they have is inconsistency, that feast or famine mode. And this is pretty typical for not just for law firms, but for most businesses. They put a lot of effort into marketing and sales. And then when they get business, they cut out the marketing because they don't have time for it. And when that work is done, then they got to jump back in the marketing because they have no leads coming in. And also a problem that a lot of law firms have is they rely too much on referrals. And both of these really lead to revenue instability, which nobody likes. Law firms also struggle with the high cost of traditional marketing. So paid ads cost more these days and they aren't as effective. That goes for LinkedIn, Facebook, Google, Instagram, wherever you're going to advertise. It's just harder and harder. There's just too many people out there running ads, it's bumping the cost up, and it's really hard to compete. SEO, which has been our bread and butter for the last 9+ years, is also getting more difficult. The real estate's going away. Google has their AI overview, and I'm going to show you an example of that in a second. And it's really taken up a lot of the real estate. Now, luckily, for commercial intent, like local commercial intent terms like estate plan attorney near me or the best divorce attorney near me, it hasn't affected that all that much, but it's coming, definitely. So this is a pretty typical search someone might do. How to set up a will. They're in that exploratory stage, not really sure if they want to contact an attorney yet. They're just looking for some options here. So this, even 6 months ago, would have a bunch of business links on it. This search results page. You'd have your local service ads up top, which are still there. And then you'd have a bunch of the blue links down below, like this one, the organic search listings. But now what we see is Google's AI overview. And if you would click this, it's going to basically fill up the whole page. But you still do have some organic searches. There's just not that many of them. So here's one, Oregon State Bar. I'm in Oregon. That's where I searched from a few days ago. Then you have the people also ask session, which is really a good area to try to get into with your Q&A on your site, or excuse me, the FAQ. You have Free Will here, LegalZoom. The problem is these are huge sites. They've got super high domain authority. It's going to be really hard to compete against them. Then down below that, you have user-generated content from Reddit and Quora. Then you have more Reddit. As you can see, there's just a handful. I think I counted 6 organic search results. And they're all these big sites with super high domain authority that are really, it's almost impossible to beat these guys out for certain topics. And not like you're trying to help somebody write their own will, but you create content to bring in people from different channels or different avenues. So sometimes it's commercial intent, like you really want to focus on that, hey, this guy's ready to buy, and you create content for that. But sometimes you just want to get people into your funnel, get them to your site, get them into your funnel somehow. And this type of content actually works for that. But if we keep scrolling down, you're going to start seeing some videos, and there's more Reddit here, YouTube videos. A quick tip, this guy is showing up on the first page of Google search results with a YouTube video. It's called Ayers Law TV. He's an attorney. And I would highly recommend, if you are not doing video marketing, to start looking into this. We actually are starting to offer this for our clients as a service, but this is becoming bigger, and I don't think you should miss the boat on it. You should get in on this as soon as possible. As we scroll down a little bit more, then we have MetLife, another super high authority site that's really going to be hard to compete against. The whole point being is that there's not that much real estate for organic search results anymore. Like I said, you still have a chance and can be really competitive for the local intent searches because you got the local pack, and that hasn't gone away. But there are changes coming to all that eventually, I guarantee you. So another reason why law firms struggle with lead flow is that the leads aren't properly qualified. This just leads to waste of time. Poor quality leads, especially from Facebook leads or the lead form ads, a lot of times are poor quality, especially if you're offering something in return, like a lead magnet, like a downloadable checklist for a divorce or estate plan or something like that. These tend to be not that high quality leads, and they haven't been qualified, and they're just coming in your funnel, and then you're wasting time on them. Another struggle would be the high cost of staff for lead management. Too much time is spent on this manual lead follow-up. Going back to that Facebook ad example, let's say somebody does fill out the form. A lot of times those forms are being filled out after work hours. So you get the leads the next morning, your staff dedicates some time to following up with them. Typically, these people are back at work, so they're not going to pick up the phone. But there's back and forth, and it's just time wasted on getting through to these leads. And then the reality is a lot of these leads aren't good qualified leads. So you're wasting time to finally get through to somebody on someone who maybe is not even a good fit for your law firm and what you offer. Missed opportunities, something people struggle with in the legal field. And this can be due to slow response time or even a lack thereof. The speed to lead principle comes into play here because there are all sorts of data points put out a few years ago about this speed to lead principle, where they looked at how likely you were to convert a lead, like to get them to book an appointment, depending on how long it took you to get back to them. And literally, if you aren't responding to somebody in 3 to 5 minutes, your chances go down significantly. Because the reality is, unless you are the only law firm in your city or within 20 miles or 30 miles, they're just going to go find somebody else. There are plenty of attorneys out there, and they're just going to go down the list if you aren't getting back to them really quickly. Another issue and struggle that law firms have is not capturing enough of those website leads. You may be getting 500, 1,000, 2,000 organic hits a month, but are you capturing a good percentage of those? And this doesn't completely have to do with AI or automation, but it could be just the website's not set up properly. But these missed opportunities are missed revenue. And then the last one is the inefficient appointment scheduling. As I mentioned earlier, given the Facebook lead form ads example, there's a lot of back and forth, and this just wastes time on both sides. So let's now look at some pretty typical practices that law firms have in their lead flow process and talk about how they're limited in being effective. So the first one is investing in ads without a proper system in place to process these leads. So the leads may come in, but they aren't efficiently managed. It's just slow response time or maybe no response time. And as I mentioned, that speed to lead, if you're not getting back to these people quickly, they're on to the next. Also, poor or even no landing pages for ads that are created. You're paying for people to visit your site or landing page if you have one. And if it's not set up properly, then your chances of converting these people and getting them to book appointment are reduced significantly. Like every ad should have a dedicated landing page. It should have specific language related directly to that ad, and it should have a compelling call to action or CTA. Another issue is the staff or maybe even a VA managing all the lead follow-up. VAs are super popular right now because they're a super cheap source of manpower, especially from overseas. And they're actually pretty good, especially on certain social channels of following up with leads. But they can get expensive and they're prone to human delays. They can't man things 24/7. And then typically these people aren't trained in sales. So there may be some opportunities that they're missing because they don't have their proper sales training. Most law firms aren't hiring a sales rep to work for them. That's just a fact. The other common lead flow practice that we see all the time is just this manual email or phone follow-up. Once again, keep harping on this, but it's time consuming, costs money, it's man hours spent. Also, live chat not being manned. How many times you go to a website and there's a chat box, you type something in there and you just wait and wait. Or maybe you get an auto response that says, "Oh, we'll be right with you." And you wait and wait. This is frustrating. I see this all the time. I typically will send a message, say, "Hey, you need to have somebody manning this or turn it off." Just have a message going out. But once again, somebody does that, you don't respond quickly, they're just going on to the next law firm. The basic form on the website or maybe a newsletter form, just having that set up, it doesn't work anymore. People are bombarded by emails. They're less likely to sign up for things like that. And then also, you got to wait for that email to come in. Then there's going to be a delay before you get back to them, and you have a high chance of losing that lead because of that. And then the last one here is using CRMs with limited capabilities. In the legal field, there are a number of CRMs, and CRMs, customer relationship management, things like Lawmatics, Clio, HubSpot, Keep. There are a whole bunch of them out there. The one we use is based off of High Level. We just have a white label version of High Level. It's a CRM market automation tool. But some of these legal tools, they work for practice management, but they don't have a lot of the functionality, the automation, and the real-time engagement built into them that people want these days. So they also don't have a lot of times the way to efficiently convert leads. So what is the solution? What's the modern solution, I should say? And the modern solution is AI-powered lead flow systems. AI is making its way into everything. I am one of those people, I'm just tired of hearing about it. Every other word that comes out of people's mouth, especially in the marketing industry, is AI. But it's here to stay. It's not going away. And if you aren't taking advantage of it, especially with things like what I'm going over here, where I'm going to go over, then you're missing out on some huge opportunities. So let's take a look at some of the ways AI and automation can streamline the entire lead flow process and help businesses scale more or easier. So one of them has to do with lead capture and instant engagement. AI-powered chatbots engage with website visitors. They do this on social media messaging. They do this through the website. They do this through text messaging, WhatsApp. The benefit is they work 24/7. There's no lunch breaks, no vacations, no sick days. They're always on. So those people who maybe fill out that Facebook lead form after hours can be responded to almost immediately and engaged with. And even the AI assistants can actually even book appointments right from there. And this really ensures that no leads go unanswered or unresponded to. These tools also are able to qualify leads. And as I said, follow up with them. AI assistants pre-qualify leads based on your criteria. So what we do for all of our clients with our AI assistant, and we call it AI assistants. Some people call them chatbots. Some people call them AI employees. There's all sorts of names being thrown around out there. But we fully train ours on each individual client. So we pull information off the website. We have an intake process where we get information to make sure that the messaging going out is the same as if it were an actual employee you hired to work for your firm. And this really helps. It really helps get your brand voice out there as well. But one of the main things we focus on is like what questions you need to ask to qualify this client. For law firms, it's pretty basic. If you're an estate plan law firm and someone is chatting with your AI assistant and they say, "Hey, I got a DUI, I need some help," and that's not something you handle, the AI knows what to do with that. They'll suggest that maybe they contact a criminal defense attorney or something like that. So AI assistants and automation help streamline the whole booking process as well. They sync with your calendar, whether it's Google, Outlook, or Apple, and they book consultations for you, and it's done automatically. This eliminates that back and forth messaging and scheduling issues that a lot of law firms have. And then the last one on the list is reputation and referral management. So these tools can automate this whole process. So after you win a client, you do your work, they can automatically drop them into a review campaign, review request campaign, or a referral campaign. That's going to help grow your business. So let's take a look at our E360 Lead Flow system. So it doesn't matter where people come from. It could be social media, it could be a website form, it could be paid ads, the chat widget on the site, text message marketing campaign or an email campaign, or even phone, because these AI assistants do work with voice as well. And it's pretty impressive what they can do now. Wherever they come from, they're pulled into the system. E360 platform, as I mentioned earlier, is just a white labeled version of high level. It is a full on sales and marketing automation tool with a pretty robust CRM system. Too many features to go over right now. We'll focus on some of the main ones. But the AI assistant is actually integrated into the E360 platform and it will engage with these people. And typically for law firms, the goal that is set is the consultation. So it'll book the consultations for them and then drop these people into a reminder workflow, which, by the way, will also send out reminders and information about this potential client to you or the staff member, whoever's going to be having that call with them. And then you have the appointment. And then if you close the potential client, then they become a client. After your work is done, it can, like I mentioned, it can drop them into these other campaigns automatically, like a review request or referral request, or maybe add them to the newsletter, or even create a survey, send out a survey to them. And the beauty of all of this is that everything you see here, the only, excuse me, the only thing you or your staff needs to do is show up for the appointment, close the lead, and do your work. The AI assistant does all the rest with the automation tools and the E360 platform. AI helps law firms scale in a lot of ways and helps them more efficiently scale. It does this by saving time, automates follow-ups, lead qualification, and appointment bookings. It cuts costs down because it reduces the need to keep adding extra staff to manage these leads coming in and all the workload. It creates a consistent lead flow. And as we talked about earlier, inconsistent lead flow is inconsistent revenue. And that's something no business wants. It also improves the lead quality by qualifying these leads before they even book an appointment with you. So you can focus on the high quality leads. And then overall, AI and automation, when combined together in an efficient system like this, are able to help you scale your business and boost revenue. Just going to get you more consultations more efficiently and effectively, which will translate to more clients. So we're going to do a quick demo here, see how this goes. I'm going to just open a new window here and go to our website. And let's just pretend you're visiting this website. Hey, I want to chat with somebody. So you just initiate the conversation. We have hello on here, but it could be whatever you want. You could have a question, and a lot of people just say, "What? How can I help you today?" or something like that. Nicole is this AI assistant we're working with today, and she introduces herself and asks how it's going so far. So we always instruct our AI assistants to ask a question. Just don't jump straight into the sales pitch. But this one, for demo purposes, we didn't get into it pretty quickly. So she describes what we do. You could tell me about your business. Just gonna pretend to be one of you guys, a estate planning attorney. So she gets into our whole focus here, which is generating leads, because that's a problem with most businesses. So how you generate leads for your estate planning practice? I'm just gonna say, referrals and Facebook ads and see what she comes up with here. So do you have a system in place? Because these are qualifying questions. We want to know if they're using some kind of CRM tools like a Lawmatics or Clio or something like that, or Keep to manage their marketing and their contacts. I'm just going to say no to make things easy here. And Nicole's been instructed to ask a few qualifying questions. This is one of the ones we always ask. What's the biggest challenge growing your practice? I'm just going to say get enough new leads. It could be something like getting quality leads or something like that. Once again, I'm just going to say no to move it along. And she's probably gathered enough information. So maybe give a little blurb about what we do again, and then offer to schedule an appointment to talk to a specialist. Just going to say sure. And now Nicole's going to go into some more information gathering. She's going to ask for our name, our email address, and phone number. I'm just going to use a fictitious name here. I'm already going to start typing this in because I know what's coming. And then I know the next one's coming too, so I'm going to get a jump on her, on Nicole. She's asking for our mobile number. And then now that Nicole has gathered that information, because we've instructed her to get that information before she offers to schedule an appointment there, before she gets into the calendar. So we always ask for a time zone because we work nationally, but you probably wouldn't have this in here, but I'm just going to say Pacific time zone. And let's just say, Tuesday mornings. So Nicole's actually going and reading my calendar right now to see what times I have available in the Pacific time zone on Tuesday mornings. And she'll likely come back with a couple of times for Tuesday. Hopefully it's this next Tuesday, which it is, the 25th at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. I'm just going to say 8 works for me. And now she's going to book the appointment. Once she books that appointment, my contact, this Joe Smith, is going to be dropped into a automation workflow that's going to send a reminder to him so he can put it on his calendar and also notify me as the account holder that Joe Smith scheduled an appointment. And if we were to look at that now and go back to the calendar, there's Joe Smith on the 25th at 9 o'clock. And then we could actually go into the CRM system and you can see that Nicole has added Joe Smith's name, phone number, email address, and added some tags to it as well. And if we wanted to, we could actually click on Joe Smith here and his contact record and see the full conversation in there. It takes a little while to load this. But that's how it works. It's pretty streamlined. And the beauty, as I said, of all of this is that out of that whole process, all you really need to do is show up for that meeting, close the deal, and do your client work. So I'm gonna offer something special this week. So we want to get 2 new clients as quickly as possible. So we have a special offer. Normally we charge $9.97 a month for our E360 Lead Flow System with a $750 setup fee, but we're cutting that almost in half right now for the next 10 people. $497 a month, $500 setup fee, and what that's going to get you is the full E360 system. So this is a full customer relationship management tool like a Lawmatics or a Clio Grow. The AI assistant is going to be fully trained for your business, a review generation system, email and SMS marketing tools. The system will you can create campaigns in there, or we can create them for you. We'll actually, for the SMS, if you want to do that, we'll purchase you a local number, and so you can send text messages out from your locale. A calendar system is going to sync with your Google Outlook and Apple calendars. An AI-powered chat widget, a website lead capture forms, automated workflows. These are for when somebody submits a form online, it'll automatically follow up with them. Also send out appointment reminders to the people when they schedule appointments and send notifications to you and or your staff. And this can all be done through text messaging or email. And then the other special campaigns that you may be using right now, we can mimic those in our system if you're using a tool like Lawmatics. We typically also set up a monthly blog digest or like a newsletter. So if you're doing content marketing, then we can have it pull that content in automatically and send that out to all your contacts on the list every month. And there's a whole bunch more that we can go over. And speaking of that, I'd like to provide, I should say, this link. If you're interested in chatting more about this and how this can work for your law firm, feel free to scan this QR code, or you can actually go to engagedigital.com, utilize the chat widget you just saw, and schedule a call that way. In this email, there's also a link to my scheduling page. We can hop on a 15, 20-minute call. I can get some information about your business, and we can figure out how our E360 Lead Flow system can help you streamline your lead flow process and grow your business. Anyway, I look forward to hearing from you soon, and thank you for joining today. I appreciate it. Cheers.